Welcome back to Moto Next Hub, folks. Today we're diving into one of the most extreme road-legal superbikes on the planet, the 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 R. This isn't just another fast bike, this is the homologation special Ducati built so they can go racing in WSBK, and then graciously decided to sell to a few very lucky and very wealthy mortals. 1. Intro. What is the 2026 Panigale V4 R? So, quick context. The Panigale V4 range is already wild, but the V4R is the most hardcore of the family. It's the closest thing you can buy to Ducati's World Superbike race machine. For model year 2026, Ducati keeps the same basic recipe, a 998cc Race-Spec V4 but refines the electronics, aerodynamics, and chassis to shave time on a racetrack, not to make your commute comfier. Launch timing. Ducati positions this as a 2026 model with market arrival around late 2025, and a starting price of roughly a negation 44,000 in Europe. Pay before you start taking race exhausts and accessories. Alright, let's break this monster down. 2. Engine performance. Where the madness starts. At the heart of the bike is Ducati's Race-Spec 998cc Race-Spec V4, a 98° V4 with desmodromic valves and a counter-rotating crankshaft, straight out of MotoGP philosophy. Displacement, 998cc. Power, road trim, around 218 horsepower at very high revs. Torque, roughly 114 Nm. Those numbers alone are wild for a road-legal machine, but what makes the 2026 V4R special is how it delivers that power. Ducati has worked on smoothing and filling the power curve, especially in the mid and upper ranges, so you get a more usable spread of power out of corners instead of just a violent top-end hit. And, just like the previous R, if you go full track nerd with the full racing exhaust and special racing oil, Ducati specifies the bike can push power toward the mid-230s to even around 240 horsepower in closed course configuration. That configuration is track only, of course not legal for test street. Ducati also claims insane top speeds. With the Euro 5 Plus compliant exhaust, you're looking at around 318 km/h. And with the full race system they quote over 330 km/h on track. This is not a bike you outgrow. This is a bike you grow into, if ever. 3. Gearbox electronics. Race-Spec on a number plate. One of the really cool, unique features on the 2026 Panigale V4 R is the Ducati racing gearbox with Ducati neutral lock. Here's what that means in plain language. The bike uses a race-style shift pattern. Neutral sits below first gear, instead of between first and second. That's what racers use, because it lets you stomp up through the gears on track without accidentally hitting neutral. The neutral lock system also helps prevent unwanted shifts into neutral during aggressive braking and downshifts going into a corner. So when you're trail braking hard into a first gear hairpin, the gearbox is working with you, not against you. On the electronics side, Ducati has thrown the full toolbox at this cornering: ABS, multi-level traction control, slide control, wheelie control, launch control, and advanced engine brake control strategies. The latest engine brake and brake-by-wire logic are designed to keep the bike stable when you're carving into a corner on the edge of grip, giving you finer control over rear wheel slip and allowing even controlled rear brake locking on track for the pros. It's all about going faster, more consistently, not just posting one hero lap. 4. Chassis. Suspension handling. A razor with wings. Chassis-wise, the 2026 V4R is basically a precision instrument. It uses a front frame derived from the Panigale V4 platform, with lateral stiffness reduced compared to earlier R models. That gives more feel at the limit, which racers love. The hollow symmetrical swing arm is designed for maximum stability and drive grip out of corners. Suspension is full-on race kit. Linz NPX 25/30-43mm pressurized fork up front. Linz TTX 36 shock at the rear, with a hydraulic preload adjuster, fully manually adjustable, and no semi-active comfort here, just pure tuning potential. On top of that, Ducati introduces a new Linz ST20 steering damper on the 2026 model. The first time this unit appears on a production bike, it offers a wider adjustment range and finer damping control, again aimed squarely at high speed. high lean situations on track. The result is a bike that rewards experienced riders, incredibly agile, yet stable enough when you're firing it down a straight at over 300 km/h. 5. Aero design. A function first, still pure Ducati visually. The 2026 Panigale V4 R still screams Ducati red missile, but look closer and you'll see how much of it is dictated by aerodynamics. Key aero elements: winglets on the upper fairing for straight line and braking stability. New corner side pods on the lower part of the fairing, which generate extra downforce at high lean angles. Those side pods are a big talking point. They're designed to add pressure on the tire exactly when you need it. A tipped right over, knife edge through a fast corner. More downforce equals more grip equals higher corner speeds and lower lap times. Design details: typical single-seat race tail, no pretense of carrying a passenger. Aggressive LED front lights and a sculpted tank that lets you lock your legs in under braking. A slim, purposeful rear end with minimal overhang and race-styled number plate holder you'll probably rip off for track days anyway. It's still pure Panigale, sharp, sculpted, and very Italian, but this time, form is absolutely led by function and Air 6. Weight, brakes, tires, stopping and changing direction. All this power wouldn't mean much without serious control hardware. What weight without fuel is around 186 kilograms for the current V4 R, and Ducati keeps the 2026 bike in that same razor-thin ballpark. Braking is via top-spec Brembo radial calipers and large discs, with cornering ABS tuned for aggressive track use in the sportier modes. From the factory, the bike comes on Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SPV4 tires, a road legal but very track focused. Ducati also explicitly allows fitment of full Superbike slicks without major changes, underlining how close this is to a race machine. Again, it's all about lap times. 7. Electronics suite. Rider aids. A Superbike brain. Let's talk brains, not just brawn. The 2026 Panigale V4 R runs a highly advanced electronics package, multiple riding modes, street, sport, race modes etc., that change power delivery, traction control, wheelie control, ABS behavior and more. A MU-based rider aids that constantly monitor lean angle, pitch, and yaw. Updated race brake control, RBC, and engine brake control, EBC, DVO to manage rear wheel behavior while braking hard into corners. For an everyday rider, that means the bike can be tamed somewhat on the street. But make no mistake, even in the softest mode, this is not a beginner machine. It's built for skilled riders who understand what 200 plus HP feels like at the rear tire. 8. Price. Ownership. Hey, how much to join the club? Let's talk money. In Europe, the 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 R has a starting price of about 44,000, depending on taxes and import duties. That can translate into significantly higher prices in markets like the UK, India, or the US. In some regions, earlier V4R models have been listed equivalent to high-end luxury cars. We're talking the price of a brand-new family SUV for a single, uncompromising superbike. And remember, it's produced as a numbered series, with each bike carrying its own serial number on the steering head. You're not just buying a bike, you're buying a piece of Ducati racing hardware. Running costs? Don't expect them to be gentle. Servicing, tires, and consumables are all race grade A, and you'll be going through them like a track day addict. 9. Who is it for? So, who should actually consider the 2026 Panigale V4 R? Track day and racing enthusiasts who want something as close as possible to Ducati's WSBK weapon. Riders who already have experience with Liga-class superbikes and want the flagship, no-compromise model. Collectors who want a limited, numbered Ducati that represents peak current superbike tech. If you're looking for a comfy Sunday cruiser or your first big bike, a broken bar, this is absolutely not it. 10. Final thoughts. A Moto Next Hub verdict. To wrap it up for this episode of Moto Next Hub, the 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 R is not a rational motorcycle. It's not built for comfort, practicality, or daily traffic. It's built for lap times, bragging rights, and the kind of adrenaline that only a 218 horsepower, 998cc V4 turning over 16,000 revolutions per minute can deliver. You get MotoGP-inspired Aero with corner side pods and wings. A screaming diesel Panigale V4 race gearbox with neutral below first and neutral lock top terrain suspension and a new ST20 steering damper numbered. Ultra-exclusive machine at around a negation 44,000 before options. If your dream garage has a dedicated slot labeled track weapon only, this might be the bike that fills it. That's it for today's deep dive on the 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 R. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth looks at the world's most extreme machines, hit subscribe to Moto Next Hub, drop a like, and tell me in the comments,